Pests of brinjal, the shoot and fruit borer. This is the most serious pest of brinjal throughout the country. Identification: the most has brownish and red markings on the whitish forewings. Life cycle: the female lays about 250 eggs singly on tender shoots and developing fruits of brinjal. Here we can see the pinkish larvae with sparsely distributed hairs on the body and a brownish head measure 16 to 20 mm long. It pupates in a tough grayish cocoon on the plant itself. The egg, larval, and pupal periods occupy respectively 35, 15, and 60 to 8 days. The larvae bores into tender shoots in the early stage and causes dead hearts. It also bores into flower buds and developing fruits, causing shedding of buds and making the fruits unfit for consumption and marketing. Its other host plant include protective. The insecticidal measure is just for the food and fruit borer. Next is stem borer. First one is shoot and fruit borer. Next stem borer. The mouth has grayish brown forewings and transverse lines at the middle and white hind wings. The yellowish larvae with a red head pupates in silicon cocoon in the bore hole itself. The total life cycle ranges from 26 to 58 days. The larvae bores into the stem at leaf or branch axil and covers the hole with excreta and frass. The plants become stunted in growth and the infestation is generally noticeable on the later stage of crop growth control. The attacked plants should be removed and destroyed. The insecticidal measures suggest for shoot and fruit borer may good for this also. The spotted leaf beetle. This insect is considered to be one of the important pests of brinjal, sometimes becoming serious on it. Identification: the brownish hemispherical beetle has 12 to 28 black spots on the elytra. The female lay elongate, spindle-shaped yellowish egg in groups of 10 to 20 on the undersurface of leaves. About 120 to 180 eggs may be laid by a female. The egg period is 2 to 4 days. The yellowish spiny grub become full grown in 10 to 35 days and pupate on the leaf or stem. We can see picture. The pupae is yellowish with spine on the posterior part and anterior portion being devoid of spines. The total life history takes 17 to 50 days depending on weather condition. Damage: the grubs and adults scrape the leaves in a terrestrial manner and feed. The grey weevil. The brownish weevil lays about 50 eggs in the soil. The incubation period is about a week. The grub becomes full grown in 2 to 2.5 months and pupates in the soil and earthen cocoons. The adult emerge in about 10 to 12 days. Grey weevil. The adult beetle feed on larvae and brinjal, and grubs feed on roots and cause wilting and death of plants. Occasionally, the insect assumes serious proportions on the crop. The adult beetle should be collected and destroyed or may be killed by spray or dust application or of carbaryl or cypermethrin. Drenching: chloropyrifos 0.1% emulsion into the soil before transplanting affords protection. Pumpkin beetle, commonly called red pumpkin beetle. Identification: the adult beetle measures 5 to 8 mm in length and 3.5 mm breadth. The color of elytra varies from pale orange yellow to bright orange red to brown, and the abdomen is black with soft white hairs. The grubs are found in the soil and are slender and creamy yellow with pale brown heads and prothorax. Life cycle: In northern India, the beetle hibernate over winter, emerging in March. After mating, the female lays batches of about 8 eggs in the soil. The eggs are orange and oval and hatch in 1 to 2 weeks. The grubs at first feed on leaf debris, roots, and parts of the host plants in contact with the soil. They pass through 4 molds as they grow and pupate in earthen chambers just below the surface of the soil. After a further week to 2.5 weeks, the adult beetles emerge, climb the host plant, and start feeding. And the females lay eggs within a week or so. There may be 5 generations over the course of the summer. The beetles are most destructive in March and April. They feed on leaves, buds, and flowers and can defoliate the plants, and grubs pour into roots and damage the stem and fruits that lie on the soil. Then pests of tomato, serpentine leaf miner, life cycle, short life cycle. 19 days were required from egg deposition to emergence of the adult. Female deposits the eggs on the lower surface of the leaf. Larvae is legless. Larvae is colorless but become yellowish as it matures. Larva normally leaves the leaf mine and drops to the soil to pupate. Adults are small, measuring less than 2 mm in length. Damage punctures caused by female during the feeding and oviposition process can result in stippled appearance on foliage, especially at the leaf tip and along the leaf margins. Both leaf mining and stripling can greatly depress the level of photosynthesis in the plant. Chemical insecticides are commonly used to protect foliage from injury. Biological control by using parasitoids often provide effective suppression of leaf miners in the field. Fruit borers control. Chemical insecticides are commonly used to protect foliage from injury. Biological control by using parasitoids often provide effective suppression of leaf miners in the field. Fruit borers. The larvae of Helicoverpa armigera and Spodoptera litura bore into the fruits and make them unfit for consumption and marketing. Identification. Eggs are sculpted and creamy white in color, laid singly. Larvae show color variation from greenish to brown. It has dark brown gray lines on the body with lateral white lines and also has black bands. Pupae is brown in color, occur in soil, leaf pod, and crop debris. Mature larvae bore circular holes. Adult female brownish yellow stout moth, male pale yellowish moth V-shaped speck. Damage. Young larvae feed on tender foliage. Mature larvae bore circular holes. Thrust only a part of its body into fruits and eat the inner content. Collect and destroy the infected fruits and grown up larvae. Spray foliation of endosulfan. The younger larvae tend to be lighter green, while older ones develop into a dark or brown color. A bright yellow stripe along the dorsal surface is a characteristic feature of the larva. Then pupation lasts around 7 to 10 days and take place in soil near the base of the plant. Adult moth 50 to 20 mm long. The body is grey-brown color. Damaged young larvae feed on tender leaves, buds, flowers, and subsequently it bores into the fruit and rest only a part of its body into fruit and eat the inner content and rest remaining outside. Control. Collect and destroy the infected fruit and grown up larvae. Installation of Armigera pheromone trap. Spray endosulfan. Thuringiensis. Next, pest of mango. The mango hopper. Hemiptera. Cicalidae. 3 species of hoppers are found to feed on inflorescence of mango. abundant during November, February nymphs and adult suck the sap from inflorescence in large number, causing withering and shedding of flowers. Leaf hopper results in heavy loss ranging 25 to 60% due to poor fruit setting. Egg laying is also injurious to inflorescence. The female hopper inserts the eggs into flower buds and inflorescence stack. The nymph hatch out in 4 to 7 days. Life cycle completed in 12 to 17 days. Control carbaryl 0.1% or etofen-prox 0.03% or phosphalone 0.05% at 490 interval. Flower Weber. The flowers in the inflorescence are webbed together by the larvae. Inside this silken gallery, it feeds and causes damage. It also bores into the inflorescence stack. Female moth purplish grey wings. Male moth purplish pink or long orange wings with an apical patch. Eight to 10, the reddish hemispherical eggs are laid on sepals. Incubation period 3 to 4 days. Larval period 80 to 20 days. Larva pupates inside the inflorescence. Emerges as adult in 8 to 9 days. Life cycle 29 to 33 days. Leaf flower Weber. Gall midges infest mango inflorescence and contribute heavy loss in yield, mainly 3 species. Then light orange colored fly lays eggs inside immature blossoms. Maggots feed stacks of stamens, anthers, ovary, etc. Only one maggot is found in one bud. Maggots pupate inside bud. Life cycle 12 to 14 days. Widely distributed throughout India, eggs are inserted to the unopened flower buds. Maggots feed inside and feed. They are fail to open and drop down. Maggots hibernate in the soil. When favorable conditions set, they pupate, emerges out as adult. Maggots attack the inflorescence stack, flower buds and small developing fruits. Then the inflorescence become stunned. Maggots hibernate in the soil. When favorable conditions set, they pupate and emerge out as adult. Maggots attack the inflorescence stack, flower buds and small developing fruits. Then the inflorescence becomes stunned, malformed and buds do not open. Adult fly is yellowish. Lays eggs on inflorescence, peduncle or at the base of developing fruit. Maggots are yellowish. Full ground maggots pupate in the soil. Nut weevil. Weevil is dark brownish and stout, measures about 6 mm long. Females scoop out the surface of developing fruit and deposit eggs singly. The fruit that ooze from the fruit covers the egg. The fluid that oozes from the fruit covers the egg. Incubation period 7 days. Grub is apodous, fleshy, light yellow with a dark head and pupates inside the nut itself. Grubs tunnel through pulp, endocarp, seed coat and finally reach cotyledons. Grubs feed on cotyledons and destroy them. The adult is emerged in 7 days. Adult also feeds on developing seed. This may harness the maturity of infested seeds. Adult hibernate in the crevices of tree trunk. Control spraying deltamethrin. Mango stem borer. Adult beetle has 2 pink dots and lateral spines on thorax. Measures about 50 mm. Eggs are laid singly on the bark or in the crevices of tree trunk or branches. Eggs hatch in 1 to 2 weeks. Grubs feeds by tunneling through the bark of branches and cause wilting. Though this is the occasional pest of importance, in case of severe attacks, the trees succumb. Grubs feeds for 3 to 4 months and pupate inside the tunnel itself. The adult emerges in about 4 to 9 months. Control. Attacked portions are removed and destroyed. Grubs can be killed by pouring chloroform, petrol, or carbon disulfide into the hole, or placing some crystals of paradichlorobenzene and then closing the hole with tar. Red ant tree. The ant construct nest by webbing together leaves. If disturbed, they bite and cause annoyance. Spray application of cypermethrin. Citrus pests. Fruit sucking moth. Directly concerned with inflicting damage, they pierce the fruit with their long proboscis and suck up their juice. Due to this, rotting take place at the site of injury and fruits drop to ground permanently. Though the moths feed by sucking the juice from fruits, their breeding is noticed on their weed hosts such as Tinospora, Cardifolia, and the moths emerge in large numbers soon after rain. Female overposts on the leaves of both weeds seen along fence or hedges around orchards. Larvae hatch in about 3 days. Larvae feed on leaves about 20 days. The full-grown larva is a semi-looper about 50 mm long with orange, blue and yellow spots on its velvety dark speckled body. Pupation takes place inside the leaf folds. Pupal period lasts about 9 days. Controlled weed hosts found around orchards should be destroyed. The moths are caught with light torches and killed. During nights, orchards may be smoked for scaring away moths. The fruits, if bagged with polythene or paper cover, may escape attack. Citrus butterfly. Fruit sucking moth. The next is citrus butterfly. A butterfly has black and yellow markings on its large wings. The eggs are grayish yellow and laid singly on tender coconut leaves. Incubation period is 4 days. The larvae feed on tender leaves of citrus and are very common. The caterpillar in its early instar stages resembles bird dropping. However, the ground-up caterpillar is cylindrical, snout and green in color. Larval period is 13 to 21 days. Pupal period is 8 to 16 days. Control caterpillars are handpicked and killed. Control caterpillars are handpicked and killed. Spray application of profenofos 0.05% or cypermethrin 0.025%. Next, pests of paddy. Pests of paddy. Paddy pests falls under 3 categories, namely leaf eater, stem borer, sapsucker. Rice stem borer. Schizophaga incertulas. Lepidoptera crambidae, commonly called the rice stem borer or paddy stem borer. It is common all over the oriental countries. In India, it is common in Punjab, Bengal, UP, Orissa, etc. Adult moths are harmless, but larvae are seriously harmful to rice plants. Rice stem borer. Lycyclus holometabolus. Female lays eggs in clusters of 50 to 80 eggs each on the upper surface of the leaf tips and covers them with buffy hairs and scales. In about 5 to 10 days, pale white larvae caterpillars hatch out. They feed on epidermis. After a very short active life of 1 or 2 days, they bore into the rice stem, feed on the soft tissue having 6 molts and grow to full size. The fully grown larva is yellowish white and nearly 2 cm long. It makes an exit hole and pupates. Usually only one larva may live in a stem. Larval life lasts for 4 to 6 weeks. Towards the end of it, the larva spins a white silken cocoon and pupates inside the rice plant. The larva is a highly destructive pest of paddy. It lives within the stem and feeds on softer tissues of the central shoot. This causes dead heart, drying out of the central shoot in young plants. Usually the infestation is very high during the October-December month. Control measures: collection and killing of adults by using lighted traps, collection and destruction of egg masses, cutting away the leafy tips of seedlings before planting to remove the egg masses, spraying of DDT, Endrin, Lindane, Parathion, 7, etc. burning of rice stems in paddy fields after harvest. And the major natural enemies of Scyphophaga include the egg parasite Tetrastichus stoeniobi, then Telenomus beneficens and Trichogramma, and some other larval parasites like Gambrioides javanensis. Armyworm Spodoptera mauritia. The larvae of Spodoptera is commonly called the rice swarming caterpillar or paddy armyworm. Spodoptera is dark brown and heavy built moth with a black spot on each forewing. Life cycle involved in direct development and complete metamorphosis. During nighttime, females lay large number of eggs on leaf blades of the rice plants. Eggs will be covered by a velvety secretion for protection. In about a week's time, eggs hatch out into larvae. Larvae are very active. Larval life lasts for 3 to 4 weeks. During this period, the larvae undergo 5 to 6 molds and then pupate in the soil in the earthen cocoon. Then, after 2 to 3 weeks, pupa transform into adult. Damages is a highly destructive sporadic pest of paddy. The larvae cut down and eat up young plants and cut away leaves of grown up plants, leaving behind only leafless stems. Control measures: physical removal by using hand nets and other methods, spraying of DDT, BHC, Endron, Parathion, Endosulfan, etc., flooding of infested nurseries and paddy fields to drown the larvae or to release them to water surface to be eaten by fishes, birds, frogs, etc. Release of ducks to the field to be fed on the larvae. Rice thrips. These insects are present in all rice environments. In the tropics, the rice thrips become abundant in dry periods from July to September and January to March. The adult thrips are dry flying. They migrate during the day and look for newly planted rice fields. Eggs are laid in the slits of leaf blade tissue. New larvae feed on the soft tissue of unopened young leaves. These insects are present in all rice environments. In the tropics, the rice thrips become abundant in dry periods from July to September and January to March. The adult thrips are day flying. They migrate during the day and look for newly planted rice fields. Eggs are laid on the slits of leaf blade tissue. New larvae feed on the soft tissues of unopened young leaves. Damages: leaf show discoloration and rolling, and extensive removal of leaf tissue causes translucent epidermis to remain. Damaged leaves may have slightly streaks or yellowish patches. Leaves curled from the margin to the middle. Leaf tips wither off when slightly invested and filled grains at panicle stage. Control measure: flood to submerge the infected fields for 2 days. Biological control agents include predatory trips and some other beetles. Gall midge, commonly called the rice gall fly or rice gall midge, because of the formation of purple, pink, dirty white, or pale yellow hollow tubes of leaf sheath called galls. Adult flies are yellowish brown, small and almost mosquito-like with long and lean legs, hairy wings, and bearded antennae. The larvae of this fly is harmful to rice plants. Life cycle is holometabolous. Female lays single or small groups of reddish and elongated eggs on the leaf surface or stem. In about 3 to 4 days, larvae hatch out. They move down to the shoot apex from galls and remain within the galls until metamorphosis, feeding on the plant sap. The larvae of Orsiolia is a highly destructive pest of paddy. It heavily feeds on the plant sap with the result that tender leaves fail to appear, leading to stunted growth. Almost always it produces galls and kills the growing shoot. Control measures: destruction of fleas using light trap, application of parathion, Endron, phosphomidone, etc. Mixing of phosphate granules with the soil. Natural enemies of rice gallflies include the larvae of the pests Platygaster oryzae and Polygnotus spp. Species. Mealybug, commonly called the rice mealybug, is a mealybug, commonly called the rice mealybug, is a much harmful paddy pest inhabiting the leaf sheaths of rice plants and other grasses. A white waxy fluff in the leaf sheath indicates the presence of mealybug. Life cycle involves direct development and incomplete metamorphosis. Female lays 50 to 300 eggs in a chain inside the leaf sheath. Then pinkish nymphs hatch out in about 24 hours. Damages adult and nymphs are equally harmful to rice plants. Large number of them colonize the leaf sheaths and feed on the plant sap. The plants become unhealthy and almost yellowish. Their ear heads often fail to come out leaf sheaths or their panicles become distorted bearing chaffy grains. This very serious this very seriously affect the crop. Control measures: destruction of the infected plants at an early stage, spraying of parathion, then phosphomidone, etc. Clearing of the grasses on the field buds and near around. Brown plant hopper, commonly called brown hopper, is a small sized and brown colored insect. Life cycle involves direct development and incomplete metamorphosis. Then female deposit large number of eggs in 2 rows on either side of the midrib inside leaf sheaths. Within a week time, nymphs emerge from eggs. They feed on phloem sap and grow in size. After nearly 10 to 18 days, the nymph life, they grow to adults. Damages: brown hopper is a sporadic paddy pest. Its adults and nymph usually lives inside the axils and leaf sheaths of rice plants in large number and suck in the phloem sap. Their toxic saliva often causes hopper burn, characteristic of drying of leaves. A massive infestation may cause heavy loss in yield. Control measures: collection and destruction of adult hoppers using light trap, manual collection and destruction of eggs, removal and destruction of rice stubbles from fields, spraying of DDT, BHC, malathion, and organophosphorus pesticides before the flowering of rice plants is the most effective control measure. The natural enemies of brown hopper include predators of Lycosa, pseudo, annulat. Green rice leaf hopper. These are small sap-feeding paddy pest which inhabits the leaf sheaths of rice plant. Life cycle involves direct development. Female will thrust her eggs in rows in the subepidermal tissues of leaf sheaths. In about a week, nymph emerge. Yellow circular patches or burns on leaf blades and drying of leaves. Green leaf hopper. Adults and nymphs are harmful to the rice plants. They suck in the plant sap with the result that plants become yellowish or brownish, become very unhealthy and almost incapable of flowering and seeding. Adults serve as vectors of viral rice diseases. Control measures: collection and destruction of adult hoppers using light trap, collection and destruction of eggs manually, removal and destruction of infected plants, chemical control using insecticides such as fozolone, cartap hydrochloride, carbaryl, etc. White rice leaf hopper. It's a common minor pest of rice that rarely occurs at large enough population to cause yield loss. Leaves become abnormal in color and forms. This feeds externally on the leaves, may cause discoloration and stunting of leaves. Control measures: sanitization of the rice field is generally advised to reduce population. Rice caseworm. It is a small sized and snowy white moth with wavy pale brown stripes and scaly markings on wings. They can move about all over the plant, feeding on the green leaves. Larval life lasts about 2 to 3 weeks when it undergoes pupation within its rice caseworm. This is small sized and snowy white moth with wavy pale yellow, pale brown stripes and scaly markings on wings. The larvae of this moth, commonly called the paddy caseworm, is a sporadic pest of paddy. The life cycle of this involves indirect development. Female lays eggs on the leaf blades of the rice plant. Within 1 week, larvae hatch out. They cut down the leaf blades onto short pieces, roll them to form tubular cases, and remain within these tubes with their head and legs protruding out. They can move about all over the plant, feeding on the green leaves. Larval life lasts for 2 to 3 weeks, then it undergoes pupation within its tube. Pupal life lasts for nearly a week. Then pupae transform to winged adults and came out of the tubes. Caseworm. Adult nymphula occurs in rice fields in small number and very seldom it becomes a serious pest. But the larvae are voracious feeders and severely harmful paddy pest. They eat away the green leaves, leaving behind only the midrib. Heavy infestation often causes extensive damage to paddy fields. Control measures: dislodging the larva from plants using brooms or brushes or by passing ropes over the plants. Draining of the water and drying of the fields to kill the larva. Addition of small amount of kerosene to the water to kill the larva. Spraying of pesticides such as DDT, BHC, Palathion, Endrin, etc. Rice leaf roller. The rice leaf roller is a tiny straw-colored moth which is called as a sporadic pest. Its greenish caterpillar are very agile. They roll the rice leaf and remain inside the folds, feeding on the leaf matter. Life cycle involves indirect development. Female lays oval and creamy white eggs on leaf blades and leaf sheath. Eggs hatch out in 3 to 4 days. The newly emerged larvae starts feeding. It feeds on the green leaves, makes cocoons by rolling and folding the leaves of rice plants, and undergoes pupation. This was about rice leaf roller. Yeah. Young larvae feed on tender leaves without folding them, but full-grown larvae fold the longitudinal margins of the leaves and fasten them with a sticky substance. They feed inside these folds by scraping the green matter. This heavily affects the photosynthetic activity of the plants. This in turn causes the weakening and wilting of the plants, considerably affecting the crop. Control measures: dusting the crop with BHC 10%, spraying of insecticides such as Sevin, Parathion, Malathion, Carbaryl, etc. Then rice hispa. Rice hispa is a small steel blue or bluish black spiny beetle. Its adults and larvae are destructive to rice plants. Rice's life cycle involves indirect development. Adult female thrusts its egg deep into the leaf tissues of the rice plant. In about 3 to 5 days, larvae hatch out. They feed on the leaf tissue and grow in size. The larval life lasts for 1 to 2 weeks. Towards its end, the larva pupate within the leaves. Adults and grubs of Dicladispa are harmful to rice plants. Adult beetles feed on the leaves by scraping away the green matter. This causes the appearance of white lines on the leaf surface. Larvae mine into the leaves and eat away the leaf tissue. They often cause the appearance of white bubble like blotches or blisters on leaves. In any case, the leaves dry out and die. Control measures: collection and killing of adult beetles using live hand nets, cutting away the leaf tips of seedlings during transplantation from nurseries, application of BHC, parathion, fenthion, diazion, carbaryl, and other contact pesticides. Rice earhead bug, commonly called rice earbud bug or paddy sting bug, Leptocoryza acuta. Adult bugs are active, lean-bodied, long-legged, and greenish-brown with an unpleasant sting when disturbed. The whole life cycle is completed in 4 to 5 weeks and it involves direct development. Eggs are affixed to the leaf by a gummy secretion of the female, and about a week, brownish or pale green, long-legged and wingless nymphs are emerged. They feed on the plant sap from the leaves and stem of rice plants, grow further, molt 5 or 6 times, and transform to adult in about 2 to 3 weeks. Damage: Leptocoryza is a major sporadic pest that attacks the paddy fields at the milky stage. Its nymphs and adults are destructive to rice plants. They feed in the sap of tender stem, peduncle, and milky grains and turn them into chaff. Control measures: collection of nymphs and adults using hand net and killing them using strong crude oil emulsion. Spraying of DDT, BHC, malathion, parathion, simithion, etc. before and after the flowering of rice plants. Trapping using light traps and then killing by any suitable method. Clearing of wild grasses from around the paddy fields to reduce the multiplication of pest population. Biological control using predators such as tiger beetles and robber flies. Rice foot weevil. Rice root weevil. Adult is shiny black weevil with long body covered with grayish scales. Grub is creamy white and aquatic. The female lays eggs in soil near the roots of grasses. The incubation period is 3 to 4 days. The grub feeds on root hairs. Yellowing of newly transplanted seedlings and presence of dead plants in large batches. Grubs feed on roots, resulting standard and non-formation of tilters. Control measures: treatment with chloropyrifos alone and in combination with the soil application of chloropyrifos, fipronil, and cartap hydrochloride. Rice grasshopper, Hieroglyphus banyan, is a polyphagous pest which feeds on the leaves of rice, maize, other grasses, etc. Adults and nymphs are destructive paddy pests. The life cycle involves direct development and incomplete metamorphosis. The nymph life lasts for nearly 2.5 months. Damage: adult and nymph destroy rice plants by eating away their leaves. Young plants are more seriously affected. The pest becomes seriously harmful and extensively destructive to paddy fields only rarely. Control measures: collection and killing of the pest using sweep nets, raking the soil to expose and kill eggs and nymphs. Application of BHC, parathion, endosulfan, etc. if the infestation is widespread.